Doug's been in the industry for in the last 15 years, started working help desk for a managed service provider and worked up to a systems engineer. Lastly, worked as a system administrator for a major real estate company. June of 2021, he started working as an account executive for OneClick.
And he's not just a salesperson, he works to help companies reduce costs, increase productivity, and in his free time volunteers with Sleep in Heavenly Peace, an organization that helps build beds for kids. That's a great organization to be a part of.
He's very active in it too.
And there's about 250 chapters across the U.S.
That's amazing. So are you a woodworker and that's where you got into it, a carpenter?
Well, the quick short version is, so Mike Rowe from Dirty Jobs had a show on Facebook and he showed this organization, and the organization then blew up across the U.S. of people starting chapters. Someone started one in the Racine and Kenosha area. I just started going to every one of them, and the president was like, hey, you're here all the time. Do you want to be a part of our core team that does this? And so now I'm on that core team for the Racine and Kenosha area.
Oh, that's fantastic. And how many beds did you build last year?
Last year, I don't know, but we just hit a milestone. In 4 years, we've done 1,000 beds we've delivered.
That is amazing.
And that's the bed, the mattress, the comforter, sheets, and a pillow, the whole setup.
And where do these beds go? Who are they for?
Basically, we just have families that have a need. There's kids that just are sleeping on couches, floors, piles of clothes. They submit a request on the SHP website, and we get those requests, and we try to fill them as fast as we can.
That's a great cause. That's a great cause. Thank you for doing that for the community. That's fantastic.
Big question of the day. What's your love-hate relationship with IT? You must love it.
In a way, I kind of do. I'm one of those people that I started when I was about 5. I
Taking apart the toaster.
I sat on my dad's lap. We had an Apple IIe, and he would, say, okay, hit the space bar, okay, hit the enter key, and I would start doing those things. And back then, you had to enter commands to start a program for those things. So that's how I started, and just have always used computers almost every day in my life and those things, and just kind of continued on. And I'm always the type of person that likes helping people, so I got into IT, helping the frustrated people that, having problems getting their computer to work the right way, and just always trying to get people to take that step back, take a deep breath, explain to me what you're trying to do, and then show me the error you're getting. Okay, here's how I think we can fix it. And then people are like, oh my God, you're such a lifesaver. And I'm like, I just, get through one step at a time. So that's all it takes sometimes.
You're a problem solver.
I try to be.
2 problem solvers today. Shannon does the same thing. She just solves all the point of sale problems and teaches them. It sounds like you're doing the same thing but different subjects. So what are the biggest security risks businesses are facing, and how are you addressing them?
Probably the biggest risk that I come across is I go into these businesses, and I've been in lawyers' offices, I have been in nursing homes and different things, and I go in and there is the lowest grade home style router sitting there that has no security. All they did was plug it in and it starts working, so there's really no protection for their network. And we go in and we say, look, and especially some of these places, the nursing home, I said, well, right now in a way, you're not being HIPAA compliant. You're not protecting your clients.
Oh, wow.
And the same thing with the lawyer's office. I said, and I always tell people, I don't care if you buy it from me or if you buy it from someone else. These are some of the things we're suggesting you do so that you want your clients to trust you. This is kind of a deal breaker if they were to find out you're not protecting your network. So we recommend, professional grade equipment. We don't always go in and say, okay, here's a $5,000, firewall. You need these things. We try to be cost effective. We say, okay, for a business your size, this is a piece of equipment that is sufficient to do the job, that will protect you and do what you need it to do without breaking the budget.
One thing I know about security, one of the few things that I know is that phishing seems to be pretty prevalent in the world right now. So how do people protect themselves from phishing, or what can we do to just be a little bit safer in the world?
Well, again, it's one of those things that comes down to training and teaching. There's programs out there that you can have your employees go through to learn things to watch out for in the emails that they receive or things that they're doing online. Sometimes actually the worst right now is someone you know actually gets hacked. Those hackers use their account to send out additional emails that are saying, hey, to look at this document, click here. Well, then it takes you to a screen that's saying, oh, you got to log in with Office 365. But if you're not paying attention and don't look at the address to where the page is actually going to, you know, and you just start logging in, well, now the hackers have got your information and they're going to do the same thing to your contacts. So it's that taking that half step back, looking at where the link is actually pointing to. And usually the quickest trick with that is you just take your mouse pointer, go over the link with the mouse, and a second or two later it'll pop up and it'll show you it's going to website xyz.com instead of where you think it's supposed to go. And so something should point that out there. Or of course the whole like, well, you have a FedEx package coming, you know, click here and make, you know, confirm its delivery, and going, I didn't order anything, then why would you be getting a FedEx notification?
And that's terrible because there's so many people out there that are just not internet savvy. They get a text on their phone and they go, oh, did I have something? And then they click on it, and then like it's so easy to get misled.
A couple of the big ones, we should probably talk about some of the big ones that are out there. I know McAfee Security, or the Norton antivirus, there seems to always be an email that comes through that says, please renew. So that's one. Amazon, Facebook, all of the big ones, you change your passwords,
Well, and
that's
they
another.
will target businesses, and they'll try to, and they actually do what they call social media targeting. So they will look at a business, they will see who works for a business, look at the LinkedIn profiles, and they will send those invoices to the people that work in the financing department. And I've seen probably 8 out of 10 times the bill just gets paid. Nobody, you know, double checks and says, hey, do we actually use this? Are we using Norton? Is this a legitimate bill? They just pay it, and that's how they're getting money out of it. They're free money for them because the business didn't have a secondary check in place to say, is this a legitimate charge?
Yeah, and when you're in business and you have multiples of these little invoices coming at you constantly for something that renews every month or once a year, you totally forget about it. Do I even have a script? Do I even use that anymore?
Right.
It's business owners really need to pay attention to what they're paying.
And that's a benefit to using, like what we do is being what they call a managed service provider. You pay us a monthly fee and we handle all of the IT stuff. So your antivirus comes from us. So anything that comes up IT related, you're getting a separate bill. You reach out to us and say, hey, is this something that we're already doing, or is this real? Is this fake? And we can touch on that and say, no, you already have antivirus. You're not using Norton. You don't need to pay that.
So what has changed in the world of voice over IP phones, and how has the pandemic played a factor? You do a lot with the phone stuff.
I do quite a bit with phones. What's changed a lot is, the technology has massively improved. I hear stories so many times. I stop in a business. Well, we tried the whole voice over IP thing like 5 years ago, and it sounded horrible, and I was in a water tunnel, and we have devices that we put in place on a network now to help compensate for that. There's, because of some of the firewalls in place, sometimes certain channels get blocked, things like that. But the technology has improved, the speed of the internet has massively improved, which helps. So there's a lot of factors that it's become a great thing. And now with a lot of voice over IP systems, people can actually still work from home, but it looks like they're calling from the office. So their office number shows up when they're dialing someone else. But they're sitting behind a laptop at home, and nobody would be the wiser unless the dog barks or the kid starts crying.
Technology is great.
That quote is perfect. Like our quote of the day is constantly changing, and so people don't realize how much technology has really improved in the last few years. And if you thought you had problems before, you should really recheck it, because things have changed a lot.
I tried the voice over internet a very long time ago. I think when it first came out, and it didn't work so good. So it's glad to hear that it's improving.
So, Doug, do you have any specials or any events or anything to do with your side thing with the beds? Do you have anything coming up that you want to share with our audience today?
So, a couple quick things. One is, if anybody decides to reach out to me through OneClick, what we can do as a special to people that have watched this show, any services that we provide, we can do 25% off the first month that they sign up. A lot of our services don't even have contracts, so they can try it, get a good deal. We always look at that as a way to, not having contracts as a way to earn people's business every month. As far as things going on, like Shannon mentioned, there's always a number of networking events. I do run my own networking breakfast in the Kenosha area. We meet at the Mad Rooster, let's see, today's Tuesday, so tomorrow morning, the second and fourth Wednesday of every month at 7:30. Everybody is always welcome.
Okay.
And as far as Sleep in Heavenly Peace, if anybody ever wants to make any kind of financial donation, there's sleepinheavenlypeace.org. They can always make a donation. They can make it to any chapter that they want or the whole organization. Like Lowe's is one of our major partners. They donate millions of dollars, and then that gets distributed over all the chapters throughout the year. So all the money comes in, gets distributed out. And if anybody feels the need that they want to, Milwaukee is desperately in need for a chapter. Someone needs to start a chapter in Milwaukee. That's a massive need we still have. We get requests all the time, and we have currently about 80 kids on our waiting list just in the Kenosha and Racine area. And so we can't even help others outside of our network because nobody has done anything in Milwaukee yet either.
It's a good thing to put out there.
That is, put that energy out there and see how we can make that happen.